What's up guys, welcome back to another drawing tutorial. Patreon request from Drake, a whole lot of Pokemon. So, this will be a long video, I'd say. Complicated. So I think it's all the Eevee evolutions. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm guessing. Landscape page, definitely pencil eraser for these. Hit pause if I go too fast. We're going to zoom start with sort of base form Eevee. So, okay. Eyes, ovals. And they just look, most of the eyes look black. So I will do that. Two ovals, or, you know, kind of egg shaped. Right, just two. And then leave a highlight. Like so. And dark. Two little eyebrows. Little triangle nose. Now remember, hit that pause button if I go too fast. And then the mouth. I will have to go a little bit faster than usual, just because there's so many characters. Cheek over there. Cheek down here. Join together. Side of the head. Kind of bumps out on this side. And then big ears. Got little tufts of hair inside. And then the inner line, just the brown and then dark brown in there. Hair. Like so. And that sort of fur mane on her chest. Just this, it curves around either side of the neck, it's like a scarf, sort of. Boop, and little texture lines. Like so. You don't have to do too much of that. There's not a lot even in the picture I'm drawing from. So the legs, so we can see the hind leg just sort of curves this way. Comes around for the foot, around the front, and back up. I remember Pokemon Blue and Red on the Game Boy when I was younger. It's a long time ago now. Front paws. That sort of shape. And then the hind leg. There. A couple of toes. Just little curved lines. And then a big fluffy fox-like tail. Maybe a bit furry at the end. Kind of looks like a flame or something. Bum, 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 bum. There's a little white section, so you could just put some texture here if you wanted, just to show where the white part is. Okay, so there's the three elemental ones then. So we got the fire, the water, the electric. So we'll go fire first. Kind of just beside the tail. An eye again. Good for eye. Top eye line, bottom eye line, and then a highlight, and then dark. So this character's face is turned to the side, so we go for the nose kind of here. Curves around and down to a little open mouth, and the nose is like a black triangle just there. And then the chin and the side of the face. You can see a little bit of the eye on the other side, very little, just sort of poking out there. And then a furry sort of flame-like piece of hair or something, like coming up from the head here. The ear, big Eevee-like ear, maybe a bit furrier. There's a tail on top of it, but I'll put the tail behind for the water evolution one. And then a furry mane again. Comes up behind there. Bit of texture if you want. And that's in behind the head as well. So we can kind of just see the front paws. There's some orange color in behind. And then a big tail. But the tail is like behind the water one. So we'll probably just do that after I draw the water guy. Front paw that way. Second front paw here. Couple of toes. Where's the other ear? Oh, yeah, there's another ear. It's kind of on top of the black one. I thought that was the black one's chest. Okay. Electric. So, oh, my microphone is stuck. I'm moving. So let's go this way. Loud chair noises. So, electric one, kind of more over here. Eye. There. Highlight. There. Color black. Nose, little triangle sort of there. And then the mouth. Snout. Looking that way. Bottom lip and chin. There. And then real spiky, like, you know, electric zigzag fur. And this will go this way. Big ear. Some more electric hair there. And then a big ear in behind. Electric collar mane. Front paws. of toes, belly, curving that way. So this joins the hind leg, which sticks out from the fur here, kind of the Eevee in front, you know. And then another foot here. And then we got some tail. So the water one then is like in the middle. And then there's like the further, I think they're further evolutions, the more modern ones behind. So we'll do this guy anyway first. Black eyes again. This one's like looking straight on, kind of like the first Evee. White highlight in both eyes, and then just color black. There is probably like an eye or some pupil, but they're not visible, and it's kind of easier to do it this way. If you wanted to do the eye or some pupil, you could. And the nose on this one's teeny tiny, so like there. Open mouth smiling, kind of like a cat. And then the other mouth there, up and down. So, face shape, kind of like a wine glass shape, right? So it kind of comes down, or a bowl or something, just, well, no, that's more like a wine glass, that. And then we go around the top to this V. There's like a fin up the middle, right? So it goes, there's a center line and then a little V down, like a spike sticking up. I assume it's a fin that runs down the body. And then top of the head, darker blue skin. Out to flipper-like ears. So this way, that way, and then these sort of fins. And back in. And again, things go in behind other Pokemon, so, you know, don't worry if you don't get it exactly, you know, you could fill in the gaps if you wanted. Sort of fin lines here. And then a fish-like fin coming around this way. Some texture lines on it. Just curving down this way. I'm trying to remember the name. Jolteon, isn't it? Flareon? I can't remember. Flareon? Right, what else? Okay, so the back kind of goes this way, so things go in behind, and then there's like a bumping section there. Where's the back go? Just disappears there. The front is here, but the tail comes up to the flamey one, so we go bumping this way, right? And then you got like this. So this is like a blue section of a tail. And I think it comes down into here. Okay, and then like this guy's tail is like in here. And at least I think it's the flame one's tail. And then maybe we can see some shoulders and stuff for the blue one. Okay. So we got a black and a purple. So we'll do the black one. So eye is like here. sort of above this guy's ear. And then we have a black iris. And it's red around with a white highlight. So for eyes like this, you could use white paint or Tipex, you know, white out, you know, that kind of stuff. They make good highlights, you know, if you want to dab a little bit on top. And the nose coming out here. No mouth, I don't think. Or at least a mouth that ain't visible. So we'll go down for the face anyway. And then there is like a little shine of a nose, but I'll just do this. Maybe a little mouth. And the neck comes down to the ear. And then the head round. Back that way. And the ear. There. Back of the head and the neck comes this way. It's like a shoulder maybe. There, what's this? This is his tail then. And then the other ear. There, and back down to there. So he's got gold rings on everything. So it's like one on the forehead. Around the ears. Around the tail. Okay, so that's the black one, and the purple one over here. So we go head kind of tilted on this one. So we're just kind of above here for an eye. And that's kind of purple in there with a white highlight, so you can't really draw much. I'll just leave it that because that's done with color, right? So it's purple with a white highlight, and then there's a ruby red thing in the middle. The other eye is kind of skinnier, going the opposite direction. And then there's like a little nose here, and then the face. Very round. And the ear go down here, and then this guy has like little bits of fur sticking down this way. And the inner ear there. And then just like a long neck. I think like you can see some of the tail of this Pokemon down here, although not very clear because there's a foot in the way and everything, but that's purple anyway, it's the same color. Another guy over there, like a Leafeon or something. Inner ear, yes, that's that. Right, so 3 more. So there's another layer beside these guys. Did I get all that one? Yeah. There's a leaf, something else, and then another one in the middle. So we'll do the leaf little guy over here because the eye starts right beside this eye. Right, and this has a black iris with brown around it, and the other eye there. So we'll go black iris or black pupil, then a little sort of eyebrow, and then a triangle nose again. Face shape kind of like this, and then leaf-like ears, so they kind of have like chunks taken out of them. So to a spike and then back in. It's like an intersection. And there's all this stuff in the middle, right? So there's a big one, green one right in the middle, like a question mark shape. There's like hair around that. And then some more around the sides. Then another leaf-like ear. So little chunks taken out of the ear. And then the inner brown part. I'll also remember to hit pause if I move too fast. Just use your pause. It's very handy. And what else? Neck. Spike. Little leaves or grass or something coming off it anyway. And then the legs are like that as well, so that the legs have little sort of frills of green. Like that. Then another leg kind of goes in behind a little bit. And then the belly. To a hind leg. And another hind leg there. And then her back, or his or her back, goes that way. And I think there's another green leaf or something here. And then a crinkly leaf-like tail, right? So lots of sharp little angles on it. Little chunks taken out there. And then some sort of angled lines. Like so. And then we'll go over and do this blue one over this side. So long ears. So I'll do this long ear, right, because the eye is like beside it. So it'll just get us in the right place. It's like a bow or tie, you know, the shirt tie. And then the eye is sort of right in beside this. And it's just black with a highlight here. The other eye is teeny tiny. It's like, well, maybe I'll get the face shape in first, because it's kind of got the eye involved in the shape, so it kind of goes around here to the mouth and the chin. And then the eye is in here. It's just black, sort of mostly with white just in there. And then a little triangle nose again. And then she's got like this fringe, this sort of, it's probably like Bulbasaur or something, that sort of. It's like a bulb. And then a big long ear again. Flowing that way. And the back of the head and the ears. So, oh wait, well, they're not ears, obviously. I was calling them ears. These are the ears. Four ears, maybe. And boop, this way for the back of the neck. And there's like little shells or something at the back, and then the leg at the front. Toe there, and like a dark green section, back of the leg down to there, and a dark green section. So we can see maybe like a bit of the back of their leg there, and like something starting here, but it goes behind a foot of another one. So it's like the tail, but it goes behind this big one's foot up here. So this one's winking. Okay, so big eye. And this one's actually complicated, so it's just blue with a highlight, so I'll just leave it like that. And then a little nose. And then a smile. And a winking eye, so it's like this closed eye. It's got a little bow tie down here, or like a butterfly shape. Like that. And there's all these elaborate things coming out of it, but I'll try to get the ears. There's another bow tie like here. This is kind of a more dynamic pose than the rest, like things are moving, you know, not everything's kind of centered. And then face shape along the side, to like attaching these things together. And then there's like a little, like a bump in the middle, like that. And then it comes up the side. And then we get some fur or something. And then a round ear. Sort of, like that. And then another big ear coming out this way. Another bump off it. And then the inner ear part, like so. Not there and there. So there's all these kind of flowing things coming out, right? So just add these first, maybe not all of them. There's definitely one here anyway. Bends up. Like that. Then there's another one. There. Another one goes behind and out from underneath the legs. So let's say hind leg here. And that that's like blocking the tail of this one. Then there's like belly, and then other hind leg. And then sort of elbow curved up. Looks like the front paw sort of going that way. Then there's another flowy thing. Under there. And the chest. There. Paw here. And then this goes this way. That. And then I think you can see more purple tail of this one here, of like the purple one. And then this one's tail just sort of spiking up here. And the neck. Boom. Alright. All Eevee evolutions, I think. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for the support on Patreon, Drake. That was a long video. See you in the next one. Bye.